At certain times of the year, gardening, as well as the garden itself, can be pure chaos.
And of course, the end of the growing season is no exception.
With the business of seed starting, bed prep, plant maintenance, and finally that harvest all done for the year, many of us are turning our attention indoors to other endeavors.
And rightly so. For all but the super obsessed, gardening fatigue is a real thing, and we've been at it non-stop now for 8 to 9 months.
But with fall winding down and winter looming, there's a few more tasks to complete in the garden before we're truly done.
So today, I've got 6 things to do to winterize your garden spaces so that come springtime, we're ready to get growing with nothing to hold us back.
No doubt, winter is on its way. How and what we do in the gardens to prepare for it will often dictate our future success.
So the first thing that I like to do is to remove the past success.
With those final harvests already collected, our warm weather annuals such as tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and zucchinis should all be cut down. There's no sense just leaving the vines here to rot, but don't throw them away either. Instead, cut them down and leave them right there in place using a method called chop and drop. The spent stems and foliage is going to act as a natural mulch, shedding back in the very nutrient profile that the plants took out in the first place. Free nutrients and a layer of protection over winter. Not bad. Now, speaking of that winter protection,
while bare soil is a definite no-no year-round, it's of particular importance over winter.
Wind, exposure, torrential rains, harsh snows, and insane temperature swings can wreak havoc on bare topsoil.
And without our soils, there's no way we're going to be getting any vegetables. So we must do whatever we can to protect them.
Organic sources of mulch are the go-to suit of armor for your topsoils, and for good reason. A nice thick mulch layer is going to protect us from all those things we just talked about over winter. In addition, it's going to also break down and become new soil itself. It's no wonder that nature does this itself every year. As gardeners, though, we're not just limited to fallen leaves. Grass clippings, straw, compost and yard waste, as well as that chop and drop that we just mentioned, are all you need to keep your soil snug and safe until next spring. Taking that mulch method a step further, we can also grow cover crops. As basically a living mulch, these fast-growing crops will bind up loose soil, increase microbial activity as well as fertility, and ward off colonizing weeds and any pests that are trying to find a spot to hide over winter. Truly, cover crops take mulching to a whole nother level.
Also, if you're in a planting mood and the ground is not yet frozen, spring bulbs is where it's at.
Spring bulbs are named thusly because they come alive in the spring, but they're very much planted in the fall and early winter. If your soil is still workable, it's a perfect time to get them planted now for some dazzling color in the spring. Because of the nature of their life cycle, these guys need to overwinter in the ground to produce their blooms. So if you've been looking to add some color to your growing spaces, spring bulbs are the perfect way to do it. Most are planted 1 to 2 inches deep, around 3 to 4 inches apart. But, as always, check the package for official spacing requirements. One other bulb that's planted not so much for its color but more for its flavor
would be our garlic. For the most part, it's already been in the ground for a few weeks now, but in some cases, it can still be planted.
For zones 8 or higher, as long as your ground is not already frozen, there's still time to get in your hardneck garlic. I know it's cutting it close, but it's so worth it, because you can never have too much garlic. If you live in a really cold climate with extended winters, this next one should be familiar to you.
And that's to shut off and drain all outdoor irrigation.
Residual water that's left in pipes or fasteners over winter will freeze, and when it does, it expands. Cracked or even burst pipes and fixtures is going to be the result, so this is one that we don't want to forget. Significant damage and costly repairs for something that's so simple is not ideal. And lastly, the final thing that I do for my gardens in the winter when I know that the bulk of my outdoor chores are done
is to clean up and put all the tools away.
Shovels and rakes get wiped off and hung back up. Sprayers, nozzles, and wands all get put away, as well as the water lines bled. And all my clippers, pruners, and scissors get cleaned and stored for their version of a winter break. Now, if I have extra time, or if I feel they really need it, I'll take apart my scissors and pruners, wipe them down vigorously, give them an acid vinegar bath, then sharpen the blades, finally giving all parts an oil coating, leaving them shiny and basically new for the spring. It truly makes a difference. Look, it's so easy to not go the extra mile at this time of the year, but it really does pile on the work in the spring when time is a lot more precious than it is right now.
Having said that, we covered a lot today. So let's recap the main points of winter prep so that it all sinks in.
After a long and fruitful season, our gardens deserve a break, and so do we. But before we can truly kick back and relax, it would be smart to take care of a few things first. For the most part, harvests are over, so let's get all of those old vines and spent crops cut down. Now, leaving that soil bare over winter is not an option, so let's make sure that we mulch here as well as any other exposed areas as well. Also, if there's time and the ground is not frozen yet, a cover crop is a next level way to build a better soil for next year. Fall rye is my crop of choice here. And while we're planting, let's go ahead and get some spring bulbs, as well as our garlic, into the ground too. They'll simply lie dormant all winter long, giving us a vibrance of color come springtime. If it gets really cold where you live, make sure to shut off any outdoor irrigation and bleed those lines as well. We don't want any freezing or cracking when that mercury really starts to drop. And finally, with no more garden tasks to be done for a few months, let's clean up and put away all of our tools. It gets rid of the clutter, organizes us for the next season, and increases their longevity and lifespan year over year. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. No more is this evident than in the winterizing and preparation that we do in our gardens after a long growing season.
Hopefully the 6 things we talked about today help you get your garden not only ready for winter, but also next spring. Obviously, these aren't the only things that we can do. So make sure to leave a comment down below with some of your favorite winter strategies. Either way, happy growing, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate the support more than you know. And if you're getting value from these videos, please like and share them to spread the word and help your fellow gardener to grow better.